are now in the 4th week of the government shutdown, and people still know exactly who to blame. New polling out there reveals that Americans continue to blame Republicans, despite the Republicans' efforts to try to dub this the Schumer shutdown. Okay. According to a new Reuters Ipsos poll, about 50% of respondents see the Republican congressional leadership as deserving of the most blame for the government shutdown, while 43% see top congressional Democrats as the main culprits. Okay, so let me show you here. Who do you blame for the government shutdown? And you can see all adults, 50% blame Republicans, 14% of Republicans blame Republicans, 84% blame Democrats, 89% of Democrats blame Republicans, and then other, you can see, yeah, most of them blame Republicans. And there you go. Okay. I do find it very amusing that 14% of Republicans, only 14% blame their own party, which again is higher than the 9% of Democrats who blame other Democrats. This entire shutdown, I have to remind you, is about healthcare, specifically the ACA health insurance tax credits, which are incredibly popular with the American people. Some 72% of respondents, including almost all Democrats and half of Republicans, said that these discounts should be kept in place, compared to 22% who said that they should be ended. I'm guessing that those people are rich and don't need help affording their health insurance. Now, among those favoring the subsidies, 60% said that they were important enough to keep the government closed until both sides reach a deal. 37% of said lawmakers should find a way to keep the subsidies after the government reopens. So now here's the thing. If Democrats fold and they allow the government to reopen without a deal, they pass a short-term CR, which is what Republicans have been pushing Democrats to do, then Republicans, once the government's open, will just renege on that deal. That's it. It would be a dumb political move. You would be giving away all of your leverage. It would be very, very stupid to do. Okay? Stupid. So don't do it. Democrats are actually doing the right thing in saying, no, we're gonna stay closed until you come and agree to a deal. Okay? The Democrats finally have some leverage, and they're actually using it for once. Oh my God. And they're using it on an issue that most people care about. Wow. Look, polling released Monday by Data for Progress and Groundwork Collaborative show that most voters are concerned about rising healthcare premiums, and they want Democrats in Congress to actually keep fighting for a fix. Look at that. Most voters concerned about rising healthcare premiums. All likely voters, 45% that are very concerned, 27% somewhat concerned. Okay? Wouldn't it be nice to be part of that 7% that are not concerned at all? Of course, it breaks down by party affiliation. You have Republicans, 32% that are still very concerned, 29% that are still somewhat concerned, and again, these Republicans that are not at all concerned, you guys must have a lot of money, don't you? I mean, I do not know how you could not be concerned by the massive jump in cost that the end of these subsidies will bring to the health insurance market. Okay? So now, 52% also agreed that the healthcare cuts that Republicans, for Medicaid specifically, right, will end up kicking millions of people off their plans and double healthcare premiums on average for millions more, which again was the ACA subsidies. About 20 million people will likely lose their health insurance, and so that's a problem. And they also agree that Democrats in Congress should only vote for a government funding bill that reverses those healthcare cuts, even if it means that the government shutdown continues. Wow. Think tank also found that 43% of respondents blamed Donald Trump and congressional Republicans the most for the shutdown, while 33% mostly blamed Democrats. Third, which is likely your Trump supporters who are ill-informed. Say that. Okay, ill-informed to be nice. 21%, by the way, blame both parties equally, and 2% are not exactly sure. I just want to address the 21% who are like, they're both to blame. That's lazy, bro. Lazy. It really shows you how many people have just mentally checked out, okay? And just don't even care about the nuance, okay? They don't know. They're probably not aware that Democrats are doing this, not voting on the Republican CRs, in order to prevent health insurance premiums from exploding. I mean, Republicans, by the way, they knew this was going to happen. It's not like this was, something that popped up out of the blue. No, they knew that these were going to expire at the end of the year. Okay? And they know, well, first they didn't do anything about it, but they also knew that had they put a bill on the floor that would extend the credits, Democrats would have voted for it had Republicans done that. Because again, that's who brings legislation to the floor of the House is Republicans, because Republicans run that, they run the chamber. So here's the thing. What makes you think Democrats would have actually voted for it? Because they're not like Republicans who block everything when they're not in power. You see, Republicans, they know how to be an opposition party, which an opposition party is, we stand in opposition to pretty much everything that you're trying to do. Okay? And so Democrats, they're not really good at being an opposition party. Okay? They're just starting to realize what that actually looks like in the long run. Okay? Now, that said, Trump and Republicans, they are also using this shutdown to do, well, some of their Project 2025 stuff, which is mainly firing more people. That's really it. Now, on that, Data for Progress and Groundwork Collaborative found that 58% of people polled disagree with that, with Trump's illegal shutdown firings, which have been ruled by a judge as arbitrary, capricious, and exceeding the authority of the president. And right now, he's currently blocked from doing so. Not that he really cares, because about 35% of court rulings against Trump he is ignoring. Lawless president. Lawless president. Now, that said, overall, you can see the polling for Republicans sucks. And yet, they're still not budging. Still trying to pin it on Democrats. I mean, you've heard all the excuses from Mike Johnson, and where he's like, Schumer shut down. And, they're also lying about what Democrats are fighting for, because it works on their audience, the constant lying, okay? The right has so many different media outlets where they can just blast out a message to their base, and their base will just eat it right up, like slop, okay? Slop at the trough, and that's really it. I mean, all they hear is Schumer shut down, Democrats' fault. They want health care for illegals. None of that is true. None of that is true. In reality here, Democrats are actually fighting harder for working people than the Republicans are. And that's always been true. And I have my issues with Democrats, certainly, okay, and how they tend to favor corporations. But in this case, Republicans are absolutely not fighting for working people. They never do. And Democrats are. Democrats are. Now, Republicans, again, only work for their donors, and they only work for Donald Trump, whereas in this case, Democrats are at least trying to, hey, we are trying to work for, working people to prevent your health insurance from exploding. And I think that's the most important message of this shutdown is Democrats are trying to save you money and Republicans don't give a damn. They're just trying to play politics. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.